mistakes. It's not uncommon, it happens to me every single day of my life. I'm the most forgetful person in the world, my girlfriend will tell you that. And that in turn means that companies make mistakes too. And so today, we're going to be talking about Microsoft, and how they've created a new console called the Xbox 180. For any of you that aren't familiar with how the console war for next generation is going right now, the PS4 was out way in the front, being the best console on offer. There was a poll that was going on Amazon.com, and various other websites were doing their own polls as well, and the result came out that over about 12,000 people, 91% of those were going to be buying a PS4. That was because, at that point in time, there were some very undesirable characteristics about the Xbox One. We had an always-on internet connection. Even if you wanted to play a single-player campaign game on the Xbox One, you were required to have a constant online connection. To go with that constant connection, you had to connect the console at least once every 24 hours to Microsoft servers to make sure, for some weird reason, DRM was working. And that's just what you had to do. There was no way of getting out of that. If you didn't connect your Xbox One within that 24-hour period, you couldn't play games until you connected to the internet again and connected to the servers. This, understandably, caused an absolute riot among gamers. People thought that they were trying to limit your capabilities as a gamer and as a consumer as well. But it didn't stop there. The DRM moved over to how games were played on the Xbox One as well. The way that when you put a game into your Xbox One, you had to sort of do an online activation. That game was then tied to that Xbox One specifically. That meant if you wanted to go and share your disc with one of your friends, perhaps take it round their house and play on their Xbox One, oh no, you couldn't do that. You had to then buy a new game and put it in their Xbox One, or take your Xbox One with you all the way to your friend's house just to play the game. Microsoft also set up an initiative where developers could charge consumers a second time for buying a pre-owned game. Again, it's sort of an activation system, where you pay for your pre-owned game, you take it home, you've then got to pay again to reactivate the game on a new Xbox One. Now, I've sat through all of the conferences that have come out from Microsoft and Sony about their new consoles, and as of about a week ago, I was pretty convinced that the Xbox One was going to crash and burn, and that the PS4 was just going to win this console war by storm. However, Microsoft came to their senses and decided to remove some of the more naggy features of the Xbox One, let's say. They decided to backtrack on their plans that you do not have to have a constant internet connection on the Xbox One. You are only required to connect to the internet on the first time activation of the console when you first take it out of the box and plug it in. They also backtracked on their used games policy, which means you now no longer have to pay an activation fee to play a used game on your console, and trading games has become pretty much the same as we've got with the Xbox 360 now, where you can just give someone else your disc and they can play it on their Xbox 360 or their Xbox One for that matter. And this has essentially brought the Xbox One back online with the PS4. So I have to sort of give Microsoft some credit here, because they've listened to what consumers wanted and they've actually acted on it as well. However, I've still got some rather picky points about the Xbox One that I don't really like, and I don't think consumers appreciate either. Now, the one point is that Kinect, their sort of accessory for motion control and stuff like that, still has to be connected to the console at all times for the console to work. It's required for voice activation and certain other games. However, the camera is on all the time. Now, Microsoft have come out and said that you can turn all of the features off for that camera so that it doesn't collect any data. But that still puts me on edge a bit. Why would you want to collect data from my camera? Why would you want to know what I'm doing with the console that I've paid for? It seems a bit fishy to me, and it's not just me that thinks that. There are a lot of people in the industry right now that just don't agree with how Microsoft are going about it with Kinect. But anyway, on to the ultimate point. Of course, that makes the Xbox One still $100 or £80 more expensive than the PS4 in pretty much any market across the world. So now if you line the Xbox One up against the PS4 after E3, you've got a completely different competition to what we had before E3. So Microsoft have really turned themselves around on the Xbox One and are trying to offer gamers exactly what they want, and that is a games console. But still, looking at the race for me, I think the PS4 is going to win. But according to a lot of industry reports, that's completely and utterly not true. According to Blockbuster UK, they have had more pre-orders for the Xbox One than they have for the PS4. And when the Xbox One was first announced, they had more pre-orders in 24 hours than they ever had for any other product in history. Also, Amazon UK are reporting that they've had more pre-orders for the Xbox One than they have for the PS4. And also, they had a lot more pre-orders over last weekend than they've had all throughout the year. They didn't specify which consoles were going up for pre-order and how many had been ordered over that weekend, but considering the way that Microsoft turned themselves around on the Xbox One at that point in time, you have to think people must be starting to pre-order that console now. So now that Microsoft have really turned themselves around in this console war, where are you hedging your bets? Are you going to be going with the PS4, or are you going to be going with the Xbox One? Of course, a lot of you guys might be going on PC, but that's sort of irrelevant for this video. So if you do have an opinion about this sort of console war and how Microsoft have turned themselves around, drop a comment below, and sort of drop a comment as well which one you're actually going to be going for. Just literally one word comment. I want to know if it's the Xbox One you're hedging your bets on, or if you're going to be going with the PS4. But anyway, that is the end of this video, guys. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give it a like. And I said comments are always appreciated. And if you want to get in contact with me, then don't forget my Twitter and Facebook links are in the description. But my name is Westy, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.